I go back to when I took the job and I was watching film on him. There was just a lot of holes in his game to me, mainly from the defensive standpoint of not blocking shots as athletic as he was, and not plugging the holes from a defensive. These are things that I saw from a defensive standpoint. And then offensively, I just thought he needed to learn how to play with more juice, more energy. And I thought he did that last season. And this season, it's just at another level, man. I mean, he's doing things. I think we put him in position to handle the ball. Because I did this in the pros with guys like Al Horford, Josh Smith, um, Melo, that could rebound the ball and initiate your break offensively that gives you early strikes that way. And he's really been good in that area and been able to make plays off the bounce himself individually. So, I just don't see a lot of holes in his game now. I mean, everybody talk about, well, he doesn't shoot jump shots. Well, shit, he does everything else. He's playing at a high level, man. And hey, we're gonna need that the rest of the way because right now we're still shorthanded in terms of bigs. Logan and Race being out. It's hard to find some rest time for him.
Thanks, Mike.
Tom Brew.
Mike, another guy you're going to need along the way is Tamar Bates. And outside of that Michigan State game, he's just been really kind of struggling of late. Just 5 of 22 shooting, 22%, and struggling on the defensive end too a little bit, it seems. A, can you tell us what, if anything, is going on with him? And B, heading into Northwestern with their guards and such, how important it is that he's got to pick up his game quickly here?
Well, he's played well here at home. And, when you go out on the road, it's just a different mentality. And somehow I got to get them to understand it and help them, be better, to put us in a better position to win. He has struggled on the road. Gallows had his ups and downs on the road. And, I was on him a couple of games ago on the road that, hey, guys, you guys got to pick it up because you're a big piece to what we're doing based on the minutes that, you're playing out there on the road. So, I got to help them. That's the only thing I can say to you guys. Because it has been a struggle for those two guys. I think Gallo gets by because of the energy that he brings from a defensive standpoint that they help you, like the other night, stay in the ball game.
Keegan.
Hey, Coach. Have you kind of seen a Rutgers-like attitude going into Northwestern? You've lost the last two, including the tough situation last season, and now they're coming off this big win over Purdue. What kind of attitude and mindset are your guys carrying into Wednesday's game?
Well, it's a big-time game, man. Both teams got identical records. Statistically, we're pretty close, in different areas, offensively and defensively in the Big Ten. They got tremendous guard play with Boo and Chase. And I thought they hurt us here. So, our focus has just got to be, we gotta go in with the defensive mentality. You can't. They're a good offensive team, and they get after you defensively. So you can't get around either one of them. So you're going to have to combat that with defense and rebounding, and you're going to have to be able to put the ball in the hole. There was a lot of points scored in the game here. And, our points came late, when we were down early. We outplayed them the second half, but hell, they did what they needed to do the first half to give them the cushion where we had to scramble to get back in the game. So, hey, it's going to be a dogfight. They playing in front of their crowd, their fan base. And so I'm just anxious to see what we made of when we get there.
Mike Schumann.
Yeah, Coach, going back to Trace, he's averaged 14 rebounds a game over your last 11. I know his back's feeling better, but those numbers are far exceed anything he's done throughout his entire career. What can you tell us specifically when it comes to rebounding about what is fueling him right now?
It's maturity, man. He's learning how to do things on the floor. I mean, I've seen it with players over my career, man, in terms of, they started one place and then all of a sudden, the light goes off, man, and they end up in a much better place for your ball club. And that's where he is right now. I mean, he's doing some incredible things for our team, and rebounding is a big part of it. But I'm always harping on guys around him. The fact that in college everybody shoots a lot of threes. Those long threes create long rebounds, and I tell every game going in that we can't leave it up to Trace and just our bigs to get rebounds. We got a team rebound, and you guards got to get in there and pick up some of the scraps. But he's been tremendous, man, in terms of rebounding the ball.
Seth,
Mike, after the Michigan game, you mentioned that you'd tightened the rotation even before you knew Race was out because you didn't want to put pressure on CJ and Caleb. Was that just because of the matchup or because it was a tough road game? And do you see that tighter rotation continuing moving forward?
No, I mean, that's the first time I've ever used just 7 players in my whole career as a head coach. I just thought at that time, a minute or two slip up, you lose the game. That's how I felt, as that game was unwinding. And, it's no knock against Caleb or CJ because they've given us some positive minutes when they played this season. I just elected to go that way based on my feel and where we were in the ball game. It had nothing to do with those guys at all. No, I don't like playing 7 guys. I need to play more guys because that's, you just never know when you really have to throw someone, will they be ready and feel good about their play? But no, that's just something that happened the other day. And hopefully I can stay away from that by getting some healthy bodies back and go from there.
Alex,
Coach, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Now that you've had maybe a little bit of time to go back and look at the Michigan game, we're not sure how closely you studied the film, but those last 8 possessions for Michigan, they didn't score. It's not very often you see a Big Ten team at home go 5-12 late in a game without scoring. What can you say maybe that stood out from watching that about the defense and just the guys being able to step up in a tough situation like that and grind out a win?
I just think we were on par coming down the stretch. We weren't really that great offensively, and neither team could really put the ball in the hole. But I thought that 5-minute stretch, defensively, we were really locked in terms of the things that they were running that we covered going into the ball game. And I turned the arm on it at about the 2-minute mark, and I said, man, we need one little break and a crack, man, in order to pull this game out. And we got we got it. Down the stretch, we made defensive stop after stop, and then Jalen made the drive to get fouled and at least give us 2 free throws. And even though Trace missed his free throws on the front end of the 1-and-1, that 8 to 9 minute 8 to 9 minute second where we had to get a stop. We normally teams get a better shot than they got, and I thought our defense forced a terrible shot, and we was able to secure the win.
Jack,
Hey, Mike, Northwestern obviously picked up a big win yesterday. Just what impressed you about the way that they were able to slow Purdue down and kind of the challenges they present for Wednesday's game?
Well, again, I thought Purdue was pretty much in control. And then coming down the home stretch, man, that last 6-7 minutes, that's when, you have to buckle down and figure it out on both ends. And Northwestern did with their defense, man. And then they started making shots. It was a hell of a game. I thought Purdue was in the driver's seat for a while. but Northwestern changed it with their defense, and they're a good offense. Those two guards, man, they're two of the best, I think, combo guards in the Big Ten. So, we gotta combat that, and we gotta combat it for 40 minutes, man, because they're gonna play minutes unless they're in foul trouble. They both played, I think, 38, 39 minutes last night or yesterday afternoon, and unless we get them in foul trouble, we know they're gonna be on the basketball floor. We got to deal with it.
Mason.
Coach, with Miller Kopp's progression here and kind of how he's fit into Indiana in his second season, he's going back to Northwestern for the final time in his career Wednesday night. What have you kind of seen from his progression this year that's allowed him to be in this position?
Well, again, I mean, he's played well for us. I mean, it's, I go back in the NBA when you get traded, from a team, you always want to go back and show them why you shouldn't have traded me. And, he didn't play particularly well up there last season. And so I'm sure that's on his mind. And I'm going to talk to him a little bit about, just relaxing and just play, man. When things, when it comes your way, you got shots, take them. You not put so much pressure on yourself, to really perform and play well. But, at the end of the day, we're going to need a total team effort from everybody, not just Miller, to beat this team there.
Okay, last question, Bob.
Yeah, Mike, maybe an odd question, but what do you think Trace wants his legacy to be at IU? I mean, for all those years, he was a very good player on a team that didn't do very much. Now he's getting an opportunity to not only play well, but lead you to a spot where you're competing for the Big Ten title.
I think it's just that alone. His legacy would be, to win a Big Ten title. If we're able to win the Big Ten title this year and then go on and do something special in the tournament, that would be his legacy, man, because he, his freshman, sophomore, he just didn't win much. Never made it to the big dance. So last year was a major jump for him and this program, and for me, being the first-time head coach coming in here. But his legacy, man, is, I mean, statistically, he's done everything that you can do. He's reminded me that, hey, I'm getting ready to go past you. He knows it's out there, man, and for me, it's great. Records are meant to be broken. But I think winning a Big Ten title and a national title will separate, his career in terms of what he's done here, man. I mean, and that's what I'm pushing for. I want nothing but the best for the kid because he's played his ass off for us.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you Wednesday.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, guys.